In 1971, Dr. Philip Zimbardo performed the Stanford prison experiment. The experiment had 24 students roleplay as 12 guards and 12 prisoners. The experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks and display how people acted in this sort of condition with no consequences. The experiment was shut down after only 6 days due to the horrific findings during the experiment. Decades later, in Abu Ghraib prison, Iraq, US soldiers / guards treated Iraqi prisoners with the same level of horrific violence. I'm interested in this topic because I'd like to know how such evil acts can occur with just ordinary people. And I'm personally involved with this because I wanted to understand how could such evil acts happen during the 40s when the Nazis persecuted the Jews, as I have had family persecuted for that in the 40s. In 2008, Dr. Philip Zimbardo performed at TED and gave the speech, The Psychology of Evil. In his speech, he talked about how it is not individual bad apples who are responsible for their evil acts, but how power with no consequences causes people to treat those they are in charge of in horrific and horrible manners. This happened in both the Stanford experiment and at Abu Ghraib prison. I feel that Dr. Zimbardo is exclusively qualified to speak on this, as he did the experiment, and even though it was shut down, his hypothesis, his findings were true decades later in the Abu Ghraib prison incident. Well, I found information that both confirm how his experiment and how the Abu Ghraib prison incidents happened. He is exclusively qualified to speak on such matters. It may seem that Zimbardo's main point is that power without consequence corrupts and causes such evil to occur. But later on in the TED Talk, he points out that in both scenarios, such conditions fostered few people that were heroes. They called for these incidents and effectively ended both the Stanford experiment and the Abu Ghraib prison incidents. He explains that while we should explain heroes not as superheroes like Superman, but as ordinary people who are thrust into the position of having to do heroics, and that we should all try and follow their example of ordinary heroism. I originally picked this topic because I wanted to understand how people could commit such horrific acts. I hope you're able to see how such evil occurred as I have learned, and finally, how you can change your life. By understanding how evil happens, it's the first step on knowing how to become heroic.